Memorial Day 2025, more than a long weekend. And for a lot of people, it is a very long weekend. But as a United States Army retired combat infantryman, I feel like it's my duty, my responsibility, my obligation to reach out to those of you who are still with us. Now, I'm one of the lucky ones. I came home. And the only way to honor those people that didn't is by protecting the people who are still here. So many times as a senior infantry drill sergeant, I would have a young man fall because they became a heat casualty. And that's what this post is going to basically be about: heat awareness and not becoming a heat casualty. Now, the young men that usually fell out, I discovered over time, had a real ambivalent relationship with water. I know Coca-Cola was the thing, Mountain Dew, Gatorade, anything but water. And I learned this over a period of time. It didn't happen overnight. And even though we do as much as we can to prevent these injuries, it's sometimes real hard to do. So that's where I'm reaching out to you, mother, father, aunt, uncle, grandma, grandpa, friend of a family. Listen up to what I'm going to talk about here. Now, usually people associate Memorial Day with the beginning of summer, which it is. Those of you can feel the heat out there right now. We have the barbecues, the beach trips, the patriotic parades, the fireworks, and all that good stuff. But there's something more to it. It highlights a responsibility. Now, I can't sit here and ponder what went through those young men and women and what they would be thinking today, but I can say that I would think that they would like us to do the best we can to preserve a future for our loved ones. Now, as a parent, we have an obligation to safeguard our children, our living children, while paying tribute to those who are deceased, since natural disasters and fatal summer heat prevent a most present and urgent threat. So heat is rising. Everybody knows, come on, it's not like I'm making this up here. We have what's called the rising heat temperature around the world, the global warming. It's a fact, and nobody can pretend it's not here. The summer of 2025 will bring temperatures that will exceed normal warmth to become extremely hot. According to the 2025 disaster outlook, heat waves will now cause more fatalities than floods and hurricanes. And who are our most vulnerable? Our children. That's right, our children are our most vulnerable, and I'll get to that in just a minute. So this Memorial Day weekend, this serves as a moment to remember the past and be aware of our present and our future responsibilities. As the barbecues are crackling, flags are waving up and down, and you're going to be feeling the heat out there standing on the sidewalk watching that parade. You're going to feel the heat in your backyard. You're going to feel the heat out on the beach. You're going to be running and scurrying around trying to cool down and cool off. So keep that in mind, because that's a warning to you, a present warning. Now, it's unfortunate, but statistical evidence demonstrate that natural disasters are becoming more severe. Global disaster occurrences have stayed basically consistent over the years. However, their destructive powers have risen almost twice as much in intensity. And one of the silent killers is heat waves. In 2023, in 2024, over 16,000 people died because of heat. This isn't an abstract number. These are your neighbors and your family members. So summer heat is a silent, surging threat. The summer safety tips of 2025, which you can get down here, report that the stress and heat stroke can result in death within a short amount of time. My training as an infantry drill sergeant taught us that heat injuries can be life-threatening. That's why we want to prevent them. And again, I mentioned who's at risk the most? Our children. Now, why are kids at risk the most? Well, first of all, their bodies have not yet determined how to regulate their heat. They don't sweat as efficiently as an adult, so it makes them harder to cool down. As an adult, we need to make sure they're fed with a lot of water and stay out of the sun, direct sun, as much as possible. And in the summer heat wave tips or the summer safety tips for 2025, I'm going to talk to you a lot about that kind of stuff. So just keep in mind as a parent, a grandparent, an aunt, an uncle, a healthcare provider, a service provider to a child, that heat will kill quietly. It's not like a freight train coming down the road. It sneaks up on you and then it hits you and it's too late. The symptoms of heat stroke develop without warning. The signs will manifest themselves through a combination of headaches, alongside with nausea and fatigue. And there is a point when your child might turn red and demonstrate serious confusion. This marks an immediate danger. Immediate danger. Think about a heat wave because of something you can't see, like carbon monoxide. Because you cannot see the substance doesn't mean it's not fatal. Okay. So what do we do about it? Well, we look at prevention, and it starts with hydration. That's right. Drinking water. Now, this is my second 40 ouncer I've got today. Take water breaks. And the way I hook that up is on my cell phone. I put from 7 in the morning to 7 p.m. an hourly H2O alarm that goes up every hour. Yeah, they used that particularly when I was a drill sergeant. That way we would stop as long as it was safe, drink water immediately, and then we'd keep moving on. Even one cup is better than nothing. Remember, if you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated. You've already waited too long, and your body is telling you to give me some water, damn it. So with our kids, we can make them fun. Not how much can you drink or how fast you can drink it, because that'll make someone upset their tummy. But colored water bottles, infuse the water with fresh fruits. You know, avoid sugar as much as you possibly can, but the fresh fruits might make it fun with the kid. Another thing to keep in mind is protective clothing. Now, to be heat resistant or heat reflection, light colored, long sleeves, loose clothing helps reflect the heat away from the body. That helps keep the body cooler. If your children are swimming all the time, then some UPF rated swimwear would be good to keep the sun, the direct sun, off of them. And also remember not to forget to bring your sunscreen. That's a first aid essential. A minimum of 30 plus, as FPF 30 plus, go up to 50. Make sure you get it on the whole body. Now, this is where you can actually play with the kids who can get their body covered the fastest. Can we get all the spots done? Did you miss a spot? Here, let me help you with that. I missed a spot. Here, help me with that. Engage that. Engage your kids and your children. It can be playful. It can be fun. It can become a habitual thing that's not a chore. And oh my God, do I have to do this? Damn it. Well, do you want to stay alive? Yeah, you probably should. Now, another thing to think about is what are the symptoms of heat stroke? Well, there's three things: heat cramps, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke. If you're reading the blog post here, it's going to lay it out to you, give you the brief ideas. And if you're in doubt, call out 911. That's right. Make that phone call. So just remember, our disaster preparedness is actually a Memorial Day legacy. Our fight continues, but now it takes place on a different battlefield. We're no longer in a foreign land. We're in our own country and our own property. And a parent, our heritage, manifests through safeguarding our present generation instead of merely creating a posthumous legacy. Love those people that are no longer with us. Love their children. Love their surviving spouses. Love the people that loved them and help them stay safe this summer season. So remember, Your family safety is the real celebration here. So when you're out eating hot dogs, barbecue chicken, and steaks, and whatever you got going on, and watching the parades and waving flags and looking at the fireworks, keep in mind that if you don't do something to protect yourselves, very likely no one else will. So Memorial Day should serve as your opportunity to strengthen your protection for your most valuable possessions, your children. I know someone will get pissed at me saying your children are not a possession. Well, they're your kids. And as long as they're your kids, you're going to love them. Like my kids, they're adults now. I still love them. And I will still do what I can to protect them. All right. Because to me, they're valuable. I'm sure yours are valuable to you. So I'm not trying to put fear out there, and I'm not playing a paranoid person. This is just preparedness. Be prepared. And it starts now. So down here somewhere, you can get your copy of the 2025 Summer Safety Tips. It's a small 8-page PDF. Click the link, pop an email address in there, and I'll email you the report. It's real simple. So there's a couple things to think about. Why heat is dangerous to children over adults. Already admitted that. The child cannot regulate their body heat as well as an adult. They're playful, they're out playing. They might not recognize that dizziness is something. They might not be aware of what's going on, that they might be injuring themselves because they're not drinking enough water. So it's up to us to make sure they have enough water. And if your child's not going urinating often enough, that might be because they're not drinking enough water. Just think about that. So what if you suspect your child has some form of heat exhaustion? Well, get them in a cool place. Give them fluids. Place wet towels on their forehead, on their neck, on their skin. And if things get worse, call 911. So sunscreen, how often? Every 2 hours or right after you've gone swimming, or if you're an adult, if you're sweating a lot, well, minimum of every 2 hours. Make sure you get everywhere. And I recommend real sunscreen that you rub on, not spray on, because I've seen too many people get serious sunburns because they use spray on sunscreen and it doesn't cover you adequately. No, it does not. So again, go down to the links below. There's several of them to get your summer safety tips, to give you some ideas of what you can do to protect yourself, your family, and your loved ones. And we honor our brave fallen heroes while we protect their children and their loved ones, and protect yourself. So this is Daniel. Please, till next time, stay informed and stay safe.